Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show, reviews. And today I'm reviewing Quantum Leap Season 1, Episode 15. It's entitled Ben's Song for the Defense. Come to you from NBC, streaming on Peacock. So, what did I think about it, and should you be watching? Before we get into the review, get down there, hit like on this video. This week, Ben finds himself in the body of a young female public defender in New York City in the mid-'80s. And, Ben has no legal experience, and it's in the middle of a case when this all starts, but manages to, I guess, somehow get his way through the court proceedings, only to find that he's there to prevent like a miscarriage of justice. A young man who is accused of murdering someone, in his neighborhood, and is being convinced to take a plea, but actually didn't do it. And if he does take the plea, then his younger brother is going to join a gang and eventually die while he's in prison. And so we see essentially Ben trying to do, the really hard job of a public defender, which is to try a case and actually win it. Because I don't know if you guys know or are understanding of this, the deck is hugely stacked against the defense in court cases, especially criminal court cases, especially for, in this case, a minority defendant, a young Latino man. And, and especially in this, in the 80s when it was all tough on crime and everything like that, and where you have a district attorney who's more interested in getting W's rather than getting, justice. And I love this episode for many reasons, but just for that fact that they were focusing on essentially what is the impossible job of overworked, underpaid public defenders who have like a huge caseload, and who don't have all the resources that the prosecution, that the state would have at their disposal, and how really more or less it's not really justice, it's not fair, because of all that stacked against them. Like, for instance, there's a situation where Ben decides to go to trial, and then has a trial, the start of the trial the next day, and has all of discovery, all the information from discovery dumped on him ahead of time. So technically he got it in advance of the trial, but in no way humanly possible would he be able to actually look at the case. But fortunately, he's got the Quantum Leap project on his side, and Ziggy, who can do all of that stuff. Which, let me just say, this is one of those episodes where future knowledge is hugely important to the resolution of the whole leap. And in fact, without future knowledge, there's no way that the woman that whose body he was in, would have been able to actually prevail in this case. Because of course, look, you could see it from the beginning. It's all about corruption and stuff, corruption and, trying to get more W's rather than necessarily getting to the bottom of what's actually going on. This episode is also very different because Addison takes a back seat, not just a back seat, but almost literally is not in that episode all that much, because we get Jenn instead, who we've known as kind of a kick-ass security person on the outside, and that Ben does not remember when she comes into the hologram simulator. But I think it's really awesome. Like I often say, since they're going to have other characters outside of the Leap, we do want to get to know them a lot more. And we've been getting a lot more of Addison and a lot more of Ian, and, not so much Magic and not so much Jenn. But I was so glad to have Jenn come in there. And, she's a hacker. She's been to prison. But while she was in prison, she got a law degree. So, she could actually, I guess, defend herself, figuring she would be, in a situation like that again. Which underscores that not only is she, as a hacker, she's really good, but also that she's super smart. And so she's the perfect person to have in there, even though she never had any real, she never tried a case or anything. She absolutely has the legal mind and can help Ben out a lot. And I kind of loved, she was unhappy that he didn't remember her, but I kind of loved her being in there, kind of getting to be the wingman and seeing what Ben goes through, and also seeing why Ben's so good at what he does. He's great as a leaper. But I thought she was a great wingman, just really kind of, hopping in there and noticing things that Ben wouldn't have seen. Just really bring a kind of a different, but not bad, aura or, atmosphere to the leap. And, she's quite helpful in that regard. I also liked the fact that there was a lot of, moral gray areas in this episode. The fact that, Ben is playing a woman who is a queer woman in the 80s, living as, quote, roommates, but really, lovers with, her black female, also attorney friend that works, or girlfriend that works for the DA, who looks up to the DA and everything like that. And kind of see their, that in the process of trying to win this case, he sort of blows up the relationship, but also, exposes the guy, and also gives her girlfriend an opportunity to really kind of like do the right thing, which, I think that's something that's not talked about enough, is that doing the right thing can often have, bad consequences. Whistleblowers, don't always, most of the time don't meet good, have good outcomes. People who try to do the right thing in the face of powerful opposition can often be, ground under. And, the fact that she loses her job in order to do the right thing was, I think, very instructive, but also helpful in, later on when the case, kind of comes to an actual decision, and also exposing the corrupt DA, which I thought was really cool. Like most of the trial itself actually plays out more or less as you would expect. You have, a lot of evidence that doesn't really mean anything, but is used to sway, the jury and everything like that. And it comes down to final arguments or whatever. And I thought it was kind of weird that he had him leap right after he gave the final arguments and never actually heard what happened. But also I thought it was just really cool that, at least on TV, we can sometimes see the defendants actually win, because, he actually wasn't guilty. Someone else did the crime, but he was just the most convenient brown person nearby to blame for it, because it's not about, and I think this is something that is starting to show more in fiction and should be shown more, that, often with police and with district attorneys or, state's attorneys, it's not about, finding the truth finding the truth about whatever crime happened, but finding someone who can, be prosecuted and put away for it. And that's definitely what the district attorney was up to. And it was nice to see that didn't happen in this. Again, it's fictional. I mean, it is what it is. But I thought everyone really kind of acquitted themselves really well. Liked seeing Jenn, getting more of a spotlight in the episode. And just really happy to see, the other side, because we don't often see the defendants, showcased in these shows. And again, Ben's just showing like why he's so good at this, like why he's a good successor to Sam Beckett. So anyway, overall, really liked the episode. Can't wait for the next one. All right, what did you guys think about it? What did you think about what I had to say? Get down to the comments section. Let me know your thoughts. Of course, you can always hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And do me a favor, get down there, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. All that good stuff helps with the channel so more people can see these videos, helps the channel to grow. All right, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, thanks for joining me. Come back next week. We're going to be reviewing the next episode of Quantum Leap. Until then, I've been Mo de Poupée, your resident fabricant and commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.